But right about now, ladies and gentlemen, listeners here in Jamaica, on the Rock, and listeners all over the world tuning in, we welcome you to, of course, this highly anticipated weekly feature that we call Real Estate Today. It happens at this time every Wednesday morning. And we'd like to thank our sponsors, Howard Johnson Realty Limited and HJ Property Management Limited, for being on board with us and sharing such very, very important bits of information week after week. As we've been telling you through our messages on air as well as through postings on social media, we're looking this morning at the topic, understanding legal due diligence in Jamaican real estate. And this morning we'll be joined by Trevine Little, who is a well-known attorney at law. She's a graduate of the Norman Manley Law School back in 2010, that was. And based on my research, she holds a Master's of Law degree in Corporate and Commercial Law from the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus. She is a certified director, company secretary, and a trained mediator. And I could go on and on and on. We also have with us Howard Johnson Jr., that he's our regular, I call him a guest anymore, I call him a co-host on the program. Good morning, Trevine Little. How are you today?
I'm very well, Richie B. Thanks for having me.
All right, wonderful to catch up with you today. And good morning, Howie Johnson. How are you, my brother?
Well, not too bad, and I just passed the bar again and got to the office in time. So, yes, sir, I'm here, live and direct.
I hope Trevine understands that little joke there. Since last week, he has been walking or driving past bars, and there are some people who may be of the view that it means that he sat and passed the bar examination, but that is not the intention of what Howard is trying to say, right? Right, Howard?
Not the case. Not the case. Not the case. I yield to counsel. All
right, Trevine, how's your morning going so far?
It's going well. Going well.
So nice to have you on the program. This morning we hope to identify things like legal risks in real estate and protecting yourself from common legal pitfalls when buying property in Jamaica. During the program, we'll emphasize the importance of legal guidance from day one to ensure a smooth transaction process, and you'll also learn how to maximize the attorney-realtor collaboration to help buyers and sellers avoid costly delays and disputes. I want to put the first question to Trevine. Last week, we know that Howard shared some perspectives on some areas of protection in terms of legal challenges that some persons face from time to time. But how prevalent are these issues in the real estate industry, Trevine?
Well, I mean, it happens every day. I mean, some of the challenges are very basic. Someone is selling property and they don't have a certificate of title, and they don't even know they don't have a certificate of title. What they have is a photocopy or a good picture, and they think that they're ready to conduct business. Mm-hmm. So at the very base level, we have challenges every day. And it's not that they're insurmountable. It may be that the title was just never picked up from a mortgagee company or not picked up from a previous lawyer. But at the ground level, persons are just really not ready to conduct business. Mm-hmm.
So as an attorney, if you will, share with us some more legal risks that buyers should be aware of when purchasing property, and how they might mitigate these issues as they, as they try to proceed.
Well, the first thing is that you need to have professionals on your team. You need good realtors, you need good lawyers on your team to assist you in identifying some of these risks. So one of the common risks is that sometimes the persons who are holding themselves out do not have the capacity to engage in business with you. So the person who is selling you the property may not be the person noted as the registered owner. Mm-hmm. And it may not be fraud, it may not be intentional, but it's just that some basic things have not been done. This could, for example, be estate property, and it has not passed properly to the person who is holding themselves out as being in authority. It could be that a debt has not been noted. It could be that this person is acting under a power of attorney, but this power of attorney has not been registered and recorded. So when you have good people on your side and on your team, then they can allow you to identify these pitfalls. It could be something very basic that someone has gotten married, so their name has changed. So again, it's not fraud, but if you don't account for these changes, then we can have challenges.
Yeah.
In transaction.
All right. And, we touched on those issues last week, especially the matter of seeking out and, engaging the services of a good realtor and a good attorney at law. From a legal standpoint, Trevine, when should a buyer involve an attorney, and what can go wrong if they don't?
From the moment that they have identified a property that they're interested in, that is a good time to start canvassing an attorney. So at least the attorney can start to do some research on the property that they're considering. And in so doing, we can determine, are there any caveats? Are there any blocks against the property that would impact you engaging in this transaction? If it is, for example, your client tells you that I have an intention to use this property for a shop, a lawyer would be able to look on the property and see that it is zoned as a residential area. So they can have these kind of conversations with their clients up front and be very real and practical. Another important thing is that, especially for first-time buyers, many are of the view that once you have your deposit, you're ready to go. And there are other elements and other cost factors that one needs to consider. So having a good realtor and a good lawyer on your team will say, listen, remember there's a surveyor's ID report to be purchased. There's a valuation report to be purchased. There are closing costs associated with getting a mortgage. So if you don't have all of these things in your budget, then you're really not ready for prime time. So it's good to have people on your team from the inception.
Let us now turn our attention, if you will, Trevine, to the whole matter of title searches, which we understand are a critical part of the process. Could you walk us through what a title search is and why it is important for, especially for buyers?
Absolutely. So anyone, and you don't have to be a professional, all you need to do is go into the National Land Agency and provide them with either the volume and folio for the property or a property address, as much information as you can, so you can, get a copy of the title, because the title really tells its own story. It will tell you about every transaction that has ever occurred on the property. So you will find out if the property actually exists. And if the property does exist, then you'll get a full narrative. So, for example, you will see whether or not JPS NWC have a right of easement, have a right of entry on the property. You will see, for example, if this is a strata property and the strata has put a caveat because someone has not been paying their maintenance, and so they block them against dealing with the property. You will see the entire history of the property. You'll see who are the legitimate owners of the property. It tells its own story.
Yeah, very important. Thank you so very much for that. I want to bring Howard into the conversation right now. And Howie, we know that you've had a lot of experience in the real estate industry. How can buyers and sellers sort of prepare for a successful closing? And what role does the collaboration between the attorney and a realtor like yourself at Howard Johnson Realty play in this critical final step?
Yes, Richie. Well, buyers and sellers should really ensure that all the documentation is complete, is accurate, including the contract and even the very identification of the property, such as a surveyor's ID. So as realtors, we would be prepping our clients as to some of the things that they need to have in place or in train prior to closing, so that transition and that process can be simpler. So we'll put you onto other professionals such as valuers and land surveyors, etc., that can help in expediting the processes. And collaboration allows for a streamlined process, as realtors will oftentimes help to coordinate the logistics, while the attorneys such as Trevine will handle the legal compliance, etc. So we are on the ground. Some attorneys like Trevine, they're also on the ground. They go and validate for themselves, but realtors tend to be on the ground. So we understand when the persons are going there to do their checks, and we broker between the seller and the buyer that coordination of appointments, and sometimes we represent the owner by just being present while they're at work. So we play a crucial part in the steps that are required for closing. And probably last but not least, we have open communication between all parties. We are really just a broker, a third party. We neither own neither are we buying in most of the instances. So we're just really putting the parties together. So we're like a neutral body that tried to make the transaction a pleasant one for both sides.
Talking about transaction, do you find that all transactions are pretty much the same, or is that a misconception?
Well, just the fact that every property is different means that every transaction will be different. And it may not be as complex, and there will be some things that are routine and some things that are just easy to handle. But every transaction comes with its different dynamics and sometimes with its complex challenges, as Trevin mentioned earlier about some estate matters, things that are not properly documented, or someone who says, as long as you live, this is your parcel land. Only when you're dead, you can sell it. Or your family can pass it on. And then somebody come and then say, no, but daddy, they give it to me. So some of those challenges, it will vary from property to property and also from location to location.
All right. I think we have fully, properly highlighted the importance of having a good realtor and a good and knowledgeable attorney at law on your case once you're doing transactions of a real estate nature. Do you want to add anything whatsoever, Trevin, to the matter?
Junior has underscored the differences in properties, and I will underscore the fact that no clients are the same. There are no homogeneous clients. So it's always going to be very fluid and always going to be very exciting doing real estate. It's not at all mundane at all.
All right. Do you mind if I call you Junior, sir?
Go right ahead. Pay tribute to my father. Yes, for sure.
All right, Howard. There is something that we do at this time usually, and it's going but not yet gone. Hashtag GBNYG. What you got for us today?
Yes, sir. Well, we have a property on Carlisle Avenue that's in Kingston 8. If you're an investor or you have a large family or you would like to earn while you live, this property might just be the one for you. It is a corner lot on approximately 17,820 square feet of land, which is a little over a quarter of an acre, and can be used to accommodate multiple units, or it can be retrofitted to accommodate a large family. We're asking $75 million for this property, and our agent on that property is Shermaine Cunningham. We also now have a rental property also in Kingston 8, a fully furnished 2-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom. The price was recently reduced. It's an apartment that is ready for viewing, and it is very comfortable. It has all the amenities. It comes with air conditioning unit in all rooms, including the living room, by the way, ceiling fans, water heater, washer dryer, and has its own entrance to the apartment. So we're asking you to contact Sybil Harvey on that listing, and we're asking US $1,500 per month for that property. So both clients can be contacted at our office here at Ligony Post Mall. Our numbers 876-620-1457. That's 876-620-1457. Or you can visit our website at HJRealtors.com.
All right. I hope good luck to those agents with those properties. Any other contact information that you wish to share? Have you given us all your socials?
Well, on social media for Howard Johnson Realty, you can use the handle at HJ Realtors, and for all your property management needs at HJ Manage on all social media platforms.
Okay, Trevin Little, our attorney, here with us this morning. Is it okay for my listeners to make contact with you should they have matters of real estate nature to get an attorney on?
Absolutely. It's a package deal.
All right. And where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Trevin Little. You can also find me on my website, thelegallittle.com. And I'll be happy to hear from you.
All right. I thank you both for the information you shared this morning and for the time we spent. Thank you so very much. Have yourselves a wonderful day.
Richie, see, have your listeners ever call me Junior already? Boy, oh boy. Rebranded
I
today.
apologize.
Oh, don't worry about it.
It's all good.
It's
Have
all
a
good.
day, Richie.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah,
it, guys. Have a good one. That was Howard Johnson Jr. and, of course, Trevine Little, the latter an attorney at law and the former a realtor. And from the sponsoring companies, we're talking about Howard Johnson Realty Limited and HJ Property Management Limited, or sponsors of Real Estate Today. Hope you learned a lot. I did, for sure. And if you did, then why not make it back with us next week, Wednesday morning at around about 8:05 in the morning, when we'll once again have Real Estate Today for you right here on the Richie B Morning Show.